Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Malcolm Carp from the Storm Podcast, and today I'm here with another anime review. Let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah. I know you say you love me, but I don't think I believe you. Also, before I forget, make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe, turn the post notifications on because, as y'all know, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. I'm going to be doing a lot more anime reviews. I might do some episode reactions, and I'm going to be doing more stuff for my music lovers, creators, and stuff too. So I'll be doing creator tips, creator content, and maybe I'll even go ahead and do a vlog or two for you guys. I got a pretty interesting life, and I think you guys would like to get a little bit of it. All right, so today we have a review of the hit anime My Hero Academia. I'm only going to be doing a review on the first 5 seasons because as of right now, that's all that's out in the anime. This is not a manga review. In my last video, a couple people were talking to me about manga and such, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm only watching the anime. I didn't watch another manga, just the anime review. I'm sorry if you have a problem with that. Oh well. Just a reminder to everybody who has not been here before, I will be reviewing all of my anime on 5 criteria. I have story writing, characters, world building, animation, and pacing. If you want to hear a little bit deeper into what my criteria for each of those individual sections is, go back to my last anime review. That was my Naruto anime review, and at the beginning, I laid out what all of those mean for you guys and how I'm going to be rating stuff. So if you want to see that, go check out my last video. If not, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and jump into the review. So I'm gonna be reviewing My Hero Academia. It was it still is one of my favorite anime of all time. It was very early on my list of anime. I started watching anime in about 2017, 2018, and My Hero was definitely within like the first 5 anime I've watched. So I've been watching it for a while. I remember when I first started My Hero Academia, I watched the entire first season in one day. And then I watched the entire second season in another day. And then the third season had just started, and I caught up on the third season that day. And since then, I've been a big fan of the show. So this anime review is honestly going to mean a lot to me. But because it's so important to me, I'm going to be a little bit more critical of it because I take it so seriously. So let's go ahead and get into my actual critiques of the anime. All right, first things first, let's talk about the story writing of the anime. Story writing for me talks about the story, the plot, the tone, the mood, the timeline, the consistency, all those things that go into making a good story, and the writing that was actually put into it are gonna fall into this criteria for me. As far as the story writing of My Hero Academia goes, it's fantastic. It's one of the most unique stories that I have seen. In every single show or every single movie or whatever, we always see the hero. We always see how the hero like works, what they do, all that, but we don't get to see how they learn to become heroes. In a lot of places, there's not really a process to learn, but I like how we actually get to see the process of how you become a hero. They get to learn the techniques, they get to learn the morals, the skill set, everything that it really needs, real life experience or classroom experience. We see all that. And to me, that is one of the most original ideas. I think that is so dope. And personally, I can't think of too many other places that have done it or done it as well as My Hero Academia. There's a lot of cool plot points as far as it goes for what the main goal for the story is and how everybody is working toward their goals. There's an overall theme that just resonates with you and sits very well with any type of audience. My Hero Academia can be watched by children, it can be watched by adults, and it will be enjoyed the exact same way all the way across the board. And that is an ability that not a lot of anime have. Some anime end up coming off a lot very like kiddie and childish, and some anime come off very dark, and you go to certain anime depending on what you want, but My Hero Academia, you can really show it to anybody. It's a perfect starter anime for any anime fan who hasn't, or any person who hasn't gotten into anime yet. Honestly, for the first 4 seasons of My Hero Academia, the writing was nearly flawless. I can't find many issues that were in the first 4 seasons. Now, when season 5 came in, there started to be a couple issues for me personally. As you guys know, I'm not crazy about when writers have to retcon rather big pieces of their stories. And to me, Deku getting all of the quirks of all the vestiges, all that feels like it was 100% retconned in. And even if it wasn't, personally, I just don't like it. I think that it kind of takes away from the overall story. It was supposed to be a story of how Deku got this quirk and he was going to work with it and he was going to cultivate it and make himself into the number one hero against all odds. While he was already given an overpowered quirk that could have very well just sent him to number one on its own, there are a lot of people who are in his class and on his level who it still would have been very difficult to get to their level and even surpass them with the amazing quirk that All Might gave him. But once you add in the rest of the quirks that Deku is going to be getting, it kind of throws everything out the window. Like, how could you not be the best hero when you have 18 billion and a half quirks? To me, it just feels cheap and it takes away from that grind aspect that I was getting from the show and showing Deku putting in that hard work, that dedication, all of that. And I feel like that's just not there to the same extent. Yes, he still has to work with those quirks. Yes, he still has to cultivate Black Whip and Float and all the other quirks that he's going to be getting. But how could you not be OP with all those damn quirks? It doesn't make any sense to me. I think that that is a huge fumble on the writer's part, and that was one of the biggest downfalls of season 5 of My Hero Academia, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people actually really like it. It's cool. He's going to be getting a lot of powers and stuff like that. But as far as the intricacies and finesse that goes into the story and was going into it before, I just don't feel like this matches that level. But aside from that, there weren't a ton of issues as far as story writing goes. So I'm going to give the story writing an 8. I do think that this is a very well written story and there aren't too many problems. I'm nervous that after season 5, there may be some more issues just because of the way season 5 went, in my opinion. But hopefully everything gets back on track and I can't find any more issues. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8. Now, down to characters. My Hero Academia has some of the best characterization in all of anime, in my opinion. I have seen so much development, so much growth, and all of that from these characters, it does not even make sense. First off, we have Bakugo and Deku's relationship, and just Bakugo's development overall. Bakugo and Deku started off not as rivals, but as adversaries. And it was always an interesting dynamic as far as Deku never really had any problems with Bakugo, or at least the problems he had with Bakugo, he kind of kept locked away within himself and didn't really want to acknowledge them. Bakugo just absolutely hated Deku, did not fuck with him in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, that just was the way it was. And over time, their relationship has cultivated into more of a rivalry to where they both are pushing each other to get better. And even Bakugo's development himself, he used to just want to win. All he cared about was win and do it by himself. He didn't need anybody else because that's just how he handled it. And he went from win to we need to save people to win. I want to make sure that I get a flawless victory and I want everyone to be safe. And if I need help, I will ask for it. And if you need help, I will give it. And I feel like that is such a big character development for Bakugo and just the overall relationship between the two of them. Another amazing character arc and character development is Endeavor. If you've known me in real life or heard me talk about Endeavor on my podcast before the end of season 4, I hated that man. Endeavor was one of my most hated anime characters ever, bro. I felt like he was a villain in disguise. He would beat his kids and abuse his children. He pushed his wife to the edges of mental sanity. He disrespected all the people. Like, he was saving people, but he was disrespecting them and making them feel bad afterwards. I just hated that man altogether. I felt like he wasn't doing anything for the right reason. After watching the end of season 4 and after watching season 5, I have become an Endeavor fan. That man is the GOAT. Bro, when I tell you Endeavor's the GOAT, I mean it. That man is my phone background. That is the number one hero, and I rep Endeavor to the end. He is raw. Like, I rock with him so heavy because he started off as an asshole. He started off as a bad person, in my opinion, but he learned from his mistakes and he stepped up to the plate when he needed to, and All Might lost his powers, and now he's doing everything he can to live up to what he feels a good father, good husband, and good number one hero is. And the reason why I feel like it's such a good redemption arc and such a good development point is because it's not instant. It's not like everybody's just turning their heads and being like, forget everything you did in the past. We love you now. No, there are people who don't accept him as the number one hero. Most of his family doesn't truly accept him as a good father. His wife doesn't forgive him for everything he's done. He has to work through and he wants to atone for everything that he's done. And to me, that is an amazing character arc, and that is making me feel like I really rock with Endeavor after seeing all this. That man, number one hero in my opinion, I rock with him so heavy. Another amazing character point of My Hero Academia is the villains. I love stories where they have multi-dimensional villains, and that is why I rock with the League of Villains. Giving them their own character art where we can see the story from their perspective is one of the most genius things because it turns them into multi-dimensional villains and we can see why they're doing what they're doing. They're not just doing shit just to be fucking evil. Well, Shigaraki more or less is. But the rest of them actually have morals and actually have reasonings, in letting us watch the story from their perspective almost puts them in the hero seat from the viewer's perspective. When we are watching the League of Villains arc and we are watching Shigaraki versus Redestro, we were all rooting for Shigaraki because from that perspective, Shigaraki was the hero of that story. And that is one of the most genius things for character development that I've seen in a really, really, really long time. As far as other aspects of characterization in the show, there's not a lot of bad things you can say. A lot of the costume design is a little bit off. I mean, Uraraka, let's be honest, she looks stupid. There are a lot of the heroes where their costumes just truly don't make sense, but I don't feel like that really takes much away from the story. And that's something that can be fixed later on in the story with updates to their costumes and all that. So I'm going to give characterization a 9.5 because My Hero does it the best. That shit is fire. All right, on to the world building of My Hero Academia. This world is fucking awesome. I love My Hero Academia's world because while it is a world of superheroes and all that crazy shit, it's still realistic. I know, that shit sounds crazy, but let me explain. I feel like the way My Hero Academia's world works is exactly how the real world would work if superpowers got introduced into it. We would definitely have laws and hero agencies and television shows following heroes and fan pages and all that. It feels realistic as if superpowers got introduced into the real world fucking tomorrow. And that's why I think that the world of My Hero Academia is so cool, is it's a world that I could imagine if we actually got quirks. I think that shit is dope as fuck. The world has a good amount of history and lore without just the story of Deku. Honestly, that's what makes good world building to me, is if I would want to watch another show in this same world without any of the characters that I've seen already. I could get a perspective of some random ass hero that nobody knows and I'd still really enjoy it just because of how cool the world is. I think it's a dope world and it has its own history as far as heroes that came before Deku, laws that got in place. How did these things end up happening? That is one thing that I always love in a story, when they go into the backstory outside of just the character's own life. That really adds on to the world building and makes everything incredible. Also, the power system that goes on in My Hero, super consistent. There aren't really any issues of people going outside of the power system of quirks and adding new shit in. Yes, as far as quirk awakenings go, it is a slight inconsistency as far as how quirks work, because certain people are just getting extra quirks and adding shit on later. But I mean, at a certain point, you just gotta turn a blind eye to stuff like that. Yes, it can be a little annoying to the watchers, but I feel like most people just look at that as cool instead of annoying, so I'm gonna look past it. So I'm gonna give the world building of My Hero Academia a 9. As far as animation goes for My Hero Academia, it's some of the best. There aren't too many anime that can pass up My Hero Academia in terms of animation. I have never had any issue with the art or animation of My Hero Academia. It's always consistent, it's always fluid, it's always flawless, it's amazing, it's a 10 out of 10, no discussion, no debate. If you have some issues with the animation of My Hero Academia, I want to see you animate some better shit. I want you to give me an example of an anime that has some better animation. Okay, yes, I do know that Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen exist, but outside of those two, there aren't too many that have some better art style and animation than My Hero Academia. 10 out of 10. Last, but definitely not least, honestly, it's probably one of the most important, the pacing of My Hero Academia. For the most part, I have no issues with the pacing outside of Season 5. The thing about Season 5 is, it did start to feel a little slow. I felt like we got a lot of the Class 1A versus Class 1B. It started to get a little drawn out and a little boring. Not the biggest issue in the world, but it's just something that I have to point out. Once we started to get down to the League of Villains, feel like the pacing on that was way too fast. I definitely wanted to see more of the rest of the league. Toga got her episode where she got her shine. Twice got his episode where he got his shine. Shigaraki got a couple episodes where he got his shine. But there's still more members of the League of Villains who I feel like should have got a little bit more shine, and the pacing of that just went way too fast, and we couldn't get into it as much as we wanted to. Another thing about the pacing of My Hero Academia is it is a little weird how little time has passed in that show as far as how much has gone on. That starts to get a little confusing because as of the end of season 5, they haven't even finished their first semester yet, and we've watched 5 seasons of this show, and they have progressed miles and miles from where they've started, and that starts to get a little confusing as far as pacing goes, but not that big of an issue to me, at least. I'm gonna give the pacing of My Hero Academia an 8.5. Overall, for My Hero Academia, the final rating I give it is a 9. This is a damn good anime. I'll recommend it for anybody who is just getting started in anime or somebody who is a veteran. There's a reason why it's one of the most popular anime ever, why it's won Anime of the Year and gotten all the accolades that it's gotten. It's because it's good. It's consistent, it's fun, it's deep. It has so many different elements that go into it. I could recommend this to anybody, and I honestly feel like any anime watcher would thoroughly enjoy it. In the comments, tell me what you guys think of My Hero Academia and anything that you guys feel that I got wrong in the video or any parts of the video you would like me to expound upon and give their own videos too. But go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that because y'all know I'm going to be back with more videos. I'm going to be bringing you guys more heat. Let me know in the comments what other anime you would like to see me review too, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.
I've been living kinda fast, but I might slow down. You've been on my mind. I feel lost when I'm alone, but good with you, I feel at home now. I'm a race kid, but she like street dudes.